Cloud9 to kick things off on the defense side and already out of position. Only Killjoy, they're waiting for the push to come into play, and Renegades already taking A control, but Mitch on the approach taking down Retro. At least we'll keep them honest, and now he can play for the post plants. They can play for the retake. Mitchum with another one. That frenzy ripping Renegades to shreds. And now all the utility can get tossed towards the back of the site, banking the grenades off the wall. The paint shells won't get the frag because Mitch comes in and cleans it up, and it all falls down to CP2 on the wrong side of the dark cover. Really no hope at stopping this. And it does get diffused underneath his nose. Excellent retake for Cloud9. Line through. No one is tagged in the process. But again, remember, this is a bonus for Cloud9. Renegades have got to get their teeth and sink it into this round. Gotta keep that economy down. Oh, the Boombot destroying Shinobi. Had two players to contend with as well. Paint shells are out. Forces TenZ back a little bit more. He's the one player with the rifle, and now he is the last player alive. Still all of his HP intact. Headshot comes through. Gets 2 kills.
30 seconds left.
Randy gets the entry we were looking for. It's Vice that goes peeking. Getting punished. Great flashpoint from CP2. Yields the kill into TenZ, who was low. 20 seconds. Mitch, with 26 HP to his name, will get his third of the round and could be in for more. But Relyks takes it away from him. Not that he'll give. So he gets the ultimate orb and can just back away peacefully. Again, the first kill goes the way of Cloud9, and now the Rolling Thunder starts to chip into the side flashpoint alongside it, and Winsum is picking up all the pieces. Showstopper also picked up to try and fend off the defenders. Plenty of damage put to the CT as they look to try and push behind it. Winsum's not happy with just 2. He wants more. He gets more onto Relyks. And as the spike begins to get planted, Renegades have a 2v4 in their favor.
Yeah, it's looking like Cloud9 are going to have a tough time cracking this egg open here. Only 2 agents left. They do have the ult on TenZ. If he's feeling it, he could pop the Empress, but he needs to find an opportunity first. He needs to get that first kill to give them that little bit of breathing room, and they will combine for one just now. But now TenZ, all by his lonesome, paranoid, stuck in the corner, does somehow still find a frag.
Starts to push onto the side, and there's not too much defense there to fend them off.
No, it really wasn't. No one was really playing the site. And again, you're seeing Renegades kind of using some of Cloud9's weapons against them, but hold the phone because that Rolling Thunder has done excellent work. Shinobi off the back of it with the hat trick Vince that came out of nowhere. And it was looking like they were doing that really well to open up B, but then, man, that Rolling Thunder retake was just on point.
Well, they're going to counter that disappointment with some ruthless aggression in this. Retro that goes in first, may get caught from the side, though Shinobi was waiting the off angle. Takes out his teammate to perfection. randyysavage posts up 1. And CP2 follows in. Flashpoint to the back of the side, trying to force away the defenders. But Renegade will have to battle back from a player behind.
Oh, Berghy there with the from the shadows, makes it over to B, takes down the turret and puts the spike down. The problem is his support has been cut off at middle. Now he must clutch this alone 1 versus 3.
That's full HP. Has 1 dark cover to play with. It has to come down to timing. Great headshot onto Relyks, but now his position is compromised. They know exactly where Berghy resides. They have to cross, though, if they want to get to the spike. Oh my god! Cloud9 are going to have a ton of utility. Rolling Thunder alongside the lockdown have been counteracting one another. Paranoia is on point, but no one's there to pull it up. Boombot around the corner. Now Mitch gets up close and personal. Relyks with 2 paint shells, and then the Phantom into the head of Retro. And another one as randyysavage gets cold, and Shinobi catches CP2. Came in just yet.
No, it's been planted a little bit late here. Like you said, they put emphasis on stopping the default from being able to get mid-control. But it's really set them up with the advantage and go for this retake. Shinobi, though, trying his damnedest with his teammates to see if they can't hold off the line. They've been able to get a couple here, 2 versus 3, but Shinobi severely wounded here towards A ramps and really being isolated from his teammate.
Isolated, but Vice is still chipping in with frags. They're going for that defusal in amongst the cloud burst, and it will be a success. It's a great cost to their HP. It's a great cost to their economy, but Winsum.
Cloud9, if you see it towards wood, it's one up. Yep, here it is.
Put in. There's a satchel, but Retro, he knows exactly what's coming up, and he's having none of it. TenZ, though, straight through with the Vandal, taking his head off. Although Cloud9 now do have much better weaponry than their last round, they are falling apart at the seams. Vicelow trying to put it back together again. He's stitching the kills together. He's connecting the dots, connecting headshots, and now CP2 on the flank may get the drop on the first of the weakened Vice, but he doesn't know where that second player is. Flashpoint comes out, right idea. As he got killed, I'm not entirely sure what happened, but he's been traded back, and now CP2 flanking around the side, taking down shinobi. Spike carrier goes with him. Retro nullifying Relyks and vanquishing the aggression. Cloud9 in trouble. They have picked the spike back up again, but they still need to get onto the site itself, which they've now lost control over. And with only 15 seconds and a lack of utility alongside it, this is going to be asking a lot. They have turrets to contend with, they have plays to contend with, but Vice is still holding on, still just about surviving, but for how much longer? Somehow mitigating all of the trouble, mitigating all of the problems ahead of him, gets the plant down, but Retro deals with him instantly afterwards.
It's just a 2 to finish on the side itself, and the rotation's going to be a ways off, and TenZ doing a great job holding those A players in place.
Rolling Thunder has been dispersed, and now Renegades realize that they are completely out of position. Relyks alongside Shinobi get the entries that they were desperately looking for, and even though time is of the essence, they put enough down to make this round theirs. Mitch is still alive, somehow, someway, with the classic 3 bullets in the magazine and fainting out. From the shadows has been locked, but it got information for Cloud9 to go ahead and pounce here through B Heaven, and even exchange, but still Cloud9 ahead overall. But Retro changes that with Jet, a great reaction. A great reaction that forces Cloud9 back again. They wanted to try and hit B via the rafters, via the tower. That tower has collapsed, it's been demolished. Mitch, in the meanwhile, gets tanked by the turrets. They now completely understand the situation, Renegades. But how is their aim? Can it step up to the mark? Mitch has been in some fine form. It was an absolute beast in the first half and has very much continued that, but the Rolling Thunder stuns them both down, locking them into position. It's about to fade, though, and that ultimate's not going to do a great deal other than deny the plan, and that could be good enough just to win the round outright. No, he gets it in time, but it forces him away, holding their ground. It does keep the rest of the team, however, stuck on the B side. Now they're starting to rotate in. Winsum tries to get aggressive, tries to get around the back of them. In the meanwhile, Lockdown and Showstopper have both been deployed. Spike has now been planted, and they're relocating into better angles. Renegades have posted up so many valiant attempts when it comes to post plants, but this should be a bridge too far. Cloud9 in great position. 2 players are low, and now it's Renegades' turn. randyysavage drops himself a lockdown. They're being stuck in position for the time being, though, and how much is that lockdown realistically going to do? Because Vice and Relyks are just perched up at the back of the site. They can just ring in with assault rifle frags. It's the Vandals taking off their heads. And the Renegades, they popped so much on that potential retake, and it completely backfires.
Yeah, that lockdown didn't really phase Cloud9 much at all. You were pretty much spot on.
If they slow peek this, though, he should be favored to get the kill, but Relyks still takes his head off. Retro was there for so long.
30 seconds left.
And how important could that moment be? This could be the beginning of the end. Renegades will be stuck at screens again, with Cloud9 getting up close. From the shadows has been popped. Omen trying to get around the back. And as the spike gets planted, alt line is good, but so is Vice's aim. Winsum now from the backside. He's spraying them down, goes in for the defuse. Already half of it is done. He's going to stick onto this. He can keep going. No one's there to deal with him, and he'll get the clutch single-handedly. Now starting to throw in their utility, try and fend away and force back the now defending attackers of Renegades, who put their flag deep into the ground of B. Dark cover, holding a bit more ground. Relyks gets picked off instantly, and Berghy then goes in for the headshot on Vice. How is your utility, Renegades? Can you get it on point? They look to push in. Dark covers, paranoia is being traded. CP2 goes in for one. Berghy traded out, and it comes down to a one-on-one. Renegades could potentially take this. Relyks holds his nerve. He has been spotted in this position, but still flicks in for the headshot and keeps the dream alive for Cloud9. Well, that fault line is perfect. It stops both of them, and it forces them away. That could not have been better timed for Cloud9. TenZ with the Odin sprays into Retro, and it forces away any garage presence.
Right. You can tell what they were going for. They were looking for Jet to be basically a fake with Breach to execute onto B while they really wanted the bulk of their forces to go A side. But Cloud9 with that fault line shut that down. They've read the script and now they've been able to make the proper rotations where they are just dominating the scoreboard and the kill feed at this point in time. A little bit of fighting back there from Winsum, but it's certainly not going to be enough. That is a flawless round almost from Cloud9.
Lots of damage to Relyks, who has been top fragging in the last few rounds for Cloud9. Longer range incursion. Randyysavage goes in again. This time it's a flashpoint, but TenZ comes straight in with the shotgun and riddles him with bullets. The buckshot will sting. Flashpoints being traded out. Dark cover tossed into the bottleneck, and now Retro could try and play actively. And CP2 goes in. It's a 2v1, and Renegades successful again. We continue in overtime. Oh, Cloud9, it was that play that we mentioned before with Vice and the fault line. This time, though, they do wait a little bit longer. Winsum in first. It's a 2-for-2 trade, but now TenZ will take that equality and flush it down the toilet. 2v2 now falls upon us. Cloud9 have lost control over B, but they've kept Renegades honest. CP2 going in for the full plant. Winsum alongside him. Pink shell off the wall. Won't be claiming the kill, but does a lot of damage to CP2. He's down to 41. Can't really afford to peek too often. And if he does, it needs to be a snappy headshot. Instead, he's on the receiving end of a battering. Clobbered down by Mitch, who on the killjoy will be looking to go aggressive. Relyks gets caught, but Winsum misses his window of opportunity. Now they know exactly where he is. They can force him back. Post plant, 3-on-3. Renegades have won so many of these. Fault line is excellent. And Retro making tons of noise. It's actually the aftershock that takes down Relyks. What happened there? He was in amongst the smoke. I think he was completely caught off guard by that. And now Renegades have a golden opportunity to go straight for it. And Shinobi falls to the first hurdle. And it's Berghy with a 4K. Comes alive again.
Cloud9 will at least push B lobby and kind of realize what's going on.
With all of the killjoy damage from Mitch. 2 go his way. Randyysavage at least returns the favor. Relyks now at the back of the site, changing his angles up, trying to stay alive as long as possible. But Randyysavage, he is just ripping straight through Cloud9. It's another one. It's a 3K, and it should be a map point to follow for Renegades. Vice is dodging, dipping, and darting past each and every ability that flies his way, but finally gets caught from the flashpoint. And with that alongside the lockdown, Randyysavage comes in with a 4K. Cloud9 mixing it up again. It's going to be a lot of presence shown on Raptors. Great flashpoints locked in from CP2, and Retro makes the most of them. Relyks though through the box comes in for one of his own, and Vice goes back in, but Retro's picked up a 3K. Mitch though disperses him, and there will be a post plant coming up. There is no way of denying this. Renegades at least get up close and personal though on the retake. Boombot straight out dealing with the underactive position, but Mitch straight through with the drive-by headshot. It's all down to Mitch against 33 HP Winsum, who goes up close with the shotgun and actually neutralizes Mitch. Renegades will take first blood in this best of 3.
With 3 HP to spare too, Vince. It doesn't get closer than that. All the extra rounds. A lot by Winsum, but he's sticking with the raise after his performance on Split. So that is one little difference, I suppose. We are going to see Winsum looking to take some point here through the smoke at the door. He won't get the frag, will support Berghy in doing so, and they will take the man advantage. They are holding up this cat push really well at the boom bot. Boom! Winsum uses it to his advantage there, but now we see Cloud9 able to fight back, get this fight down, and have the 3-on-3 post play.
Having to deal with it though on very low HP. Cloud9 hemorrhaging on a few players. Shinobi using the dark cover, hiding in the cubby. It's TenZ that's down to 21. Phenomenal player. Aftershock will not be affecting him at all, but he will get caught in the crossfire of CP2, making moves from upper, now looking downstairs, and getting the headshot with Randysavage's frenzy. Explosive attack is propagated by a flashpoint, but Randyysavage with the Spectre holds his nerve. Adds some backup. Randyysavage apparently doesn't need any backup. He's the one-man wrecking crew. It's a 4K.
TenZ will have the Blade Storm, so they'll give them something to work with here as they look again to burst on the beat.
Straight up.
Oh, man.
In the tripwire, that is so unfortunate. He's going to be furious at that outcome. CP2, though, is going to go down to Relyks Frenzy, who doubles up. Some aggression from Jet, who tailwinds out of there. Now some weapons have been picked up and used against Cloud9, but Winsum with a beautiful pink shell, puts it back into a 2-on-2. Relyks has tripled up, though, with his Phantom, and now it's looking good for Cloud9. They need Berghy, who landed some big clutches and some huge moments over on Split to strike again. And he's getting up close. He's going to fend off one of these angles, but can't transition. And now it's Relyks' turn to land a 4K. 1-2, especially with low HP in the mix. Boombot tossed out. Bladestorm also comes into fruition. Retro wants to get up close. Spotting onto Mitch, takes him down. Tailwind up, getting tagged out from the turret. Allows them to know exactly where he is and also slows him down a little bit more. But now the Cloudburst has been tossed to the back of the side. It will funnel these two defenders now of Cloud9 together. But they clump up and Vice comes out with a vengeance, with authority, with headshots. There's another one, but Berghy suppresses him.
Pose a threat, like really early on in a round, get some important map control. They haven't really been able to do that. They've been getting contested on both edges of the map, and they haven't been able to deal with it. And now look at this. Winsum pushes all the way up to top middle and finds a frag, and TenZ can't even trade it back. Winsum, absolutely fantastic. They are getting absolutely demolished, Vince. This is unbelievable.
Taking them completely out of their comfort zone, and Cloud9 are dizzy, spinning around time after time. Shinobi able to get one, also takes down the Boombot and has control over the spike. As far as 1vx's go, this is certainly a doable clutch. The dark cover to the side allows him to peek a little bit more, knowing he has time on his side. 50 seconds, but Berghy passes a bullet between his eyes. Bladestorm being picked up on both players, but it's Retro in midair that takes the first one down. And it's TenZ that's on the receiving end. Back up again with the updrift. Winsum comes in with two. It's a showstopper in the paint shells. And Renegades 3v4 retake goes their way.
Oh my god! In the process here. Retro still poking and prodding. Let's see if he can bring some weapons down and force some rebuying out of Cloud9, who do have a low economy. And he will be able to dash in, and they actually dig all of them. It's only Mitch that will hold on to a rifle, and even he won't. He's been phased by the spike, and this is... It'll all be about whether or not they can hold off the retake, as the spike will start getting planted. Randy gets past the paint shell. Can he break this back open? Indeed he can.
Showstoppers being picked up, and randyysavage takes off the head of Relyks just before he pulls the trigger. An even trade 1-for-1, but will favor Renegades. Dark cover put down towards main, fending off and isolating, segregating the two remaining Cloud9 players. The pitch feels compelled to go in aggressive before Winsum spins around and gets both of them. A fairy tale ending, perhaps, for Cloud9. Very capable of pulling this back. It's been the nature that they've lost that's been a worry, though, but Mitch is using that dark cover as a bit of sanctuary, and now he can show his hand with a frenzy, but too many of his teammates fell around him. Not enough to build off. Cloud9, 2v3 retake, spike gets planted. TenZ in with the first. They need CP2 to have some impact, and he's missed his shots. And now it's all on Berghy, 80 HP to his name. And a potential hero play forthcoming. Or not. TenZ gets a 4K, and CP2 will be looking at that round and thinking, what if? An upgraded gun can now be used against Renegades, who only have 17 seconds to make a decision. They're making moves around B. Now getting up close. Berghy, one-on-one, gets traded out. But at least they avenge their fallen teammates. The satchel charge out. CP2 misses his chance. Gets punished. And even though the spike has gone down, with 4 players remaining on Cloud9, it's looking good for a retake. randyysavage, though, takes the head off of TenZ, looking to eviscerate the oncoming Cloud9 players who are looking to pillage and sack the site once more. Playing on both sides, both the claustrophobic angle simultaneously. Satchel charge goes in. Retro holds his nerve, as does Mitch. Successful retake, but it's another very close one. Market open for a bit of business, and Mitch with a fast peek can actually back away and allow the rest of his teammates now to lend him a helping hand, and Vice will do just that. It's only the one kill that goes his way. And now Mitch is up close, is getting tagged, is being fragged down. Berghy, though, gets caught by Shinobi, who pushes his own dark cover, completely catching Berghy off guard. And now with 40 seconds, the spike is beginning to get planted. It's up close, but CP2, they've struck. And although the Bladestorm in play, and maybe TenZ can put some of these to heads and try and clutch this one out. There we go. There's the first. And now he can use those cloud bursts and try and play the mind games. No one's home at the back of the site. They're all more centralized on B main, and this may actually work against Renegades. They're all together, and now TenZ can go back in again, but the bomb is planted for them. TenZ is speculatively firing all those across, and then Winsum, who still has the showstopper, puts it through the dark cover onto the site, and that could be good enough to yield the round. It's Valiant from Cloud9 in the dying embers of the round, but the spike will detonate, and Renegades
going in again, Benz, and they're going fast.
Still have that Hunter's Fury. Winsum in amongst all the cloud bursts is coming out with frags alongside shinobi, who gets 2 of his own. Renegades 2v3, faking the spike, trying to draw out one of those Cloud9 players into the open, but there are flashes coming in from the shadows. Has been popped to the other side of the map. It's on B, and Sova's still alive. This is winnable for Renegades. Cloud9 in trouble. Post plant. Does Berghy take the aggression? He does, and he puts out the head of Relyks. And with that kill, he can now move back into market, change up his angles. He goes down to the hand of Mitch. The Hunter's Fury still available, is now being popped, tries to stall it for as long as possible, anticipating a play is forthcoming as they stick onto the spike. The shots will not connect in Cloud9.
I think this is going to series point. I don't know how they pulled this off in a 3-on-5.
They're trying to dam this though, Dust. They're going in for it now. They're going in for the defuse in a smoke, all the smoke, but it's been denied, as are the rest of Cloud9. This is for all the chips, all the marbles, the potential huge upsets on the cards, but not if TenZ and shinobi have something to say about it. randyysavage in with 1, make it 2, and Cloud9 are being dispersed post-haste. A cage triggered on top of the rafters allows randyysavage the opportunity for spike plants. And now Cloud9 have got to battle back somehow, some way. Make this work. It's an even trade. Vice and Berghy both chip in for frags, but now Relyks, a man that was destructive on split, has got to try and clutch this one out. 2 very separate angles to deal with. The isolation may not work for him, but the showstopper comes into play. Looking around Cubby, he's desperate for information, checking everywhere but where CP2 resides, and the headshot connects, and Renegades successful.